are 5 Milwaukee tools that even the haters would love to have. Let me show you. Number 1 on the list, I'm not even going to bury the lead. This is by far my favorite Milwaukee tool that I've ever bought. I've said that many times. This is the Milwaukee Random Orbital Fine Detail Sander or something like that. I don't know the exact name of it. Basically it has a home plate shaped head on it. This is a sander that you use for small parts and or getting up in the corners, which is where I like this the most. I think this is one of the better made tools that I've ever bought from them. One, because it's so useful. I use this nearly every week in the shop when we're making small trays and parts that are coming off the CNC. This thing is amazing. And anything that you have to get up into the corner of, boxes, drawers, anything, like you can really get up in there. And I like the fact that it comes with an interface pad. And if you don't know what an interface pad is, basically you can get those for your regular sanders, like your random orbital sanders, the round ones, but it has a pad on there that's squishy. That give allows it to not damage as fast your round overs, chamfers, things like that. So if you have boxes and trays and things that you're doing that have round overs on it, this really does help get those edges nice and smooth, takes that roughness off there, just makes it a really nice finished product. One of the main things people will argue on this is, why buy this if I already have an oscillating tool? Well, oscillating tools literally just vibrate left and right. That's all it's doing. And this is actually an orbital sander, so you're getting a finer detail sander. This is meant to sand, where the oscillating tool is really a multi-tool that does a lot of things. This is specifically for sanding. I like it a lot. One thing I will point out on the sander is I prefer, just depends on you, but I prefer either the XC 4.0 or 3.0, the XC style batteries. In other words, these bigger batteries that will let you stand it up like that. It's not because it lets it stand up and sit better than the little round batteries. It's that the battery life lasts longer. And so that's kind of why I like these. And that's why I got them for this, is because it's better battery life all around. I don't think if you bought this, you would be disappointed with the tool. I've had a bunch of people tell me they bought it after seeing it in some of my videos and just love it, love it. There is a different option though. Rikon has one that just spins around. I keep it right here. I do use it sometimes. It's a nice little tool, but it's also a 12-volt tool, but it doesn't have random orbits, so it's just spinning. It's a nice little tool, for a little cheaper than this, but I think this is a better option to get into corners, things like that. If you're interested in any of these tools you see today, I'll link them in the description below to my favorite retailers where I purchase them from myself. And I have purchased all of these Milwaukee tools myself with my own money. I've never been sponsored by Milwaukee, just so you know. Did I tell you I was doing these in order of how much I like them? Next on the list is the Milwaukee trim or palm sander. I love this thing. I have a bunch of these. I have Ryobi, I have Rigid, I have DeWalt, Flex, Makita, and I grab this one most often. I like it a lot. Ergonomically, I think it's better. It's not as big around so that your hand doesn't cramp. I think the dust collection's good. I like the bigger base that comes with it. The battery life is amazing. Everything works. I have a lot of people tell me that on this or any other really palm sander, they have a problem with the base slipping over time. There's literally like a little bolt right there. This one's a small Allen key. You just put an Allen wrench in there and snug that up a little bit and it solves it. I've had to do it on this one, the Rigid, and the Ryobi, and the Makita. They all have this kind of similar style clamp that clamps it closed. This just needs to be snugged up so that it works. A few things I like about this router. I have a full review of this router after, I think, a year review on this, a year later, on the Outlaw Effect. If you want to check that out, I'll link in the description. But I like the way this fine tuning is on this if you want to set the depth. I like that knob they have there. It works extremely well. Again, the dust collection works well. Built-in LEDs, so you can see battery life is really good, and it has plenty of power to do most tasks that you would do with a trim router. It is variable speed as well. Now there's a kind of a B here. I just got this one in, and this is the Milwaukee half-inch router. And this is supposedly 2.25 peak horsepower. So if you need more power, give it all she's got, Captain. If you need more power than this can give you, then this is an excellent option if you're a Milwaukee fan and or in the Milwaukee battery platform already, because this is extremely expensive for what you're getting. I like it. I did a full review on it again on this one. There's a lot to love about this. I really like the grip. But man, is it pricey when you can get a DeWalt or even a Bosch for half the price, a corded version. But if you need cordless, this is a way to go. So just kind of to be here. Number 3 on the list is the Milwaukee Track Saw. I think this is the best bang for the buck track saw on the market, hands down. I love the Festool. I have the Festool. It's one of my favorite track saws. This would be right behind that. But just because of a couple of features, the Festool has anti-kickback. I like that feature on there. And I think it's just a overall slightly better, but that's a toss-up. It could be just because I like Festool and I'm just a fanboy. But I also really like this Milwaukee. I think this one, for the money, especially when you start looking at the price of accessories versus the Festool, I think you're getting more for your money here with the Milwaukee. So I bought this with the intention of giving it away, right? And I like it too much, and so I haven't given it away. We give almost everything else that we buy for reviews and things gets given away to our 2 Before Nation members. Details about that in the description, but this is one of those that I hang on to because I like it so much. It works so well. Lots of battery life on this thing. I ripped up a piece of plywood, just kept ripping until the battery went down. It was several hundred feet that I was able to cut with it. The dust collection is really good. The adjustments are absolutely perfect. I love how you can adjust the depth setting on this with one hand, up and down. It doesn't have anti-kickback, but it does have the riving knife on there. And this is a true plunge saw, so you can do plunge cuts with it. The power, plenty of power to cut through thick walnuts. It is variable speed should you need that, and it can bevel up to 48 degrees or -1 if you need that. Like, this is the most well-rounded track saw for the money. Track saws are expensive. I've reviewed some budget ones from Skil, from Ryobi, and some others recently that there's a lot left lacking there that you would really like to see in a track saw, and this really does give you everything you need. And what's amazing about Milwaukee tools in general is a lot of people complain about the price of them. They are pricey, but they go on sale so regularly at various different retailers, and I can hook you up with deals. All you have to do is go to my website, 731woodworks.com, click on that Tool Deals button, and that's gonna open up my Tool Deals page. I post there almost every day. If I find a great deal, it's going there. If you scroll all the way through the list, there's a tiny little word down there that says older. I wish I could make that bigger, but my website don't allow it. You click older, and that goes into the next page. In other words, second page of deals. You can keep doing that. That's where you find good deals, y'all. I'm posting them there all the time. So if you want a good deal on some Milwaukee stuff, check that out. Oh, and I almost forgot, this has standard tracks. So you can literally use a lot of the same accessories like this track square that I have from TSO. If you buy the track saw, get the track square, you'll thank me later. It's amazing to be able to just continue to rip pieces down, but it's a standard track, so you can use accessories with it, or if you have other tracks like Win and PowerTech, etc., they will actually fit on those tracks. Next on the list, I think these are the perfect drill and driver set for a woodworking shop. This is the M12, so they have the 12-volt batteries. These are my favorite drill and drivers that I have in the shop. I have several different brands in the shop just from testing them out. I've used the Cat brand recently, DeWalt, Ryobi, Rigid. These are the ones I like the best because they're lightweight and they have plenty of power to do what I need to do. Drill holes, drive screws, that's it. For the drill, it is a 2-speed drill, so you do have that. It's also a hammer drill with the standard style chuck that allows you to dial up and down the torque settings. Standard front and back reverse. Battery indicators on M12 tools are right here, which I do like that. It does have a light fairly close. I like that it's not way down here like a lot of drills are. It is pretty close. On the impact, you do get the battery indicator there as well. I like the LEDs around this driver head versus like the Cat that has it way down below on the impact. I don't like that. This is much better. And these are just so compact and that's lightweight. That's the main feature I love about having. Most of the time, there's no reason to have a big drill in the shop. Sometimes you do need that extra power from a bigger full-size drill, but for the most part, like most tasks, because they're so lightweight and small, it's just a great set to have in the shop. You should probably get some. After number 5, you'll want to stick around for some bonus picks that I think are really good tools from Milwaukee that I've reviewed on the channel and or have had in the shop for quite a while. Number 5 on the list. Look, I've got a bunch of videos on storage and PACKOUT versus Flex versus Klein Mod Box. For my money, for what I'm going to talk about is why I chose and still stick with PACKOUT. However, the Tough Built system will probably give them a run for their money, but I think there's something that's going to set Milwaukee apart here. Number 1, they're well made. You can throw these things around. They're just well made boxes. And a lot of people think they're overpriced plastic boxes. Comment below if you think so. I'm okay with that. I think they're nice. I think they're well made, and I use this word all the time, but it's kind of like Festool. Milwaukee is a system.
A system?
Yeah, a system. So if you buy into this system, you know what you're getting. Everything's going to interwork with each other, and it's just well made. Now, one complaint is they don't have a whole lot of OEM parts or accessories yet. I think they're still coming with more as time goes on. But the one thing they do have is a very strong community of makers who make things for the PACKOUT. Case in point, I bought this 3D printer because I saw this insert for the 5-in-1 drill. And this is a good drill to have in the shop as well, but it keeps everything nice and organized. And I was able to print that on my 3D printer. Or you can buy these inserts from Etsy from people who have already printed them, who are authorized sellers of the guy who's making these designs, Jonah Pope Designs. There's so many options for the PACKOUT that I like this bit storage here. I printed this in white and black just because I could. I liked it, but it stores all my drills and my little driver bits and things like that. I even have a room for more, so that's pretty cool. It all fits in this nice little package. Remember the sander? He's got a design that fits the sander with the sandpaper. And there's a little trick on the sandpaper. This is pretty good mesh paper, but if you don't want to buy it, you can literally just trace around a piece and or the head of the sander and cut it out of whatever sandpaper you're using. But I like their regular sandpaper. One of the main reasons I'm sticking with PACKOUT, again, other than the maker community being able to buy the aftermarket stuff to go in there, you can also buy Kaizen foam. Cut that out if you don't want 3D printed stuff. The Kaizen foam would probably be better if you're transporting your tools because it gets a little softer than this hard plastic inserts. But the main reason I stick with them is because I like their wall storage setup. I've got a wall storage setup right behind you there. It's where I can keep my batteries there on that storage. It's literally just a plate you buy, you mount that to the wall, and then you can click in all of your storage, your batteries, anything you want. And you can just keep stacking on this for as long as you want to, I suppose. But I like that system. And another thing I like about the PACKOUT is the rolling storage box. There's a 3-drawer and a 2-drawer. I think they even got some more drawers they've released recently. But I like that little setup because I can roll it around the shop. It's got a little work top on top of it. I don't really use it for a work top. I'm able to put my drills and drivers and things on top, keep those right beside me as I'm working around the shop on different projects and stuff. I think that's a nice little setup for a shop setting. I also bought their first aid kit. And it's just literally first aid supplies in a PACKOUT, but it's handy and I like it. I got 2 Milwaukee Tools that are honorable mentions here. They just didn't make my top 5. They may make yours. This is a Milwaukee M18 cordless table saw. It's a job site style saw, 8¼ blade. Full review over on the Outlaw Effect on this. I think this is a very nice table saw. It's also a little pricey, but it's kind of in line with the cordless table saws on the market anyway. So if you're in the market for a cordless saw, this is really good. I like the rack and pinion fence. Has plenty of power, even though it's cordless. They claim it has as much power as other table saws in the same category. Who knows, maybe I need to test that, but this is a really good saw. If you're in the market for a cordless table saw, I think this is a fantastic option. Lots of power, love the rack and pinion fence. It stays square, cuts square. It's just a good option for a table saw if you're in the market. It's an honorable mention, just didn't make my top 5. This should have went in the top 5, and the only reason I didn't put it in there was because I already put the M12 drill and driver in there. This is the Milwaukee 5-in-1, I think, or 4-in-1 Installation Driver, they call it. This is a great tool. It's a few years old as far as the model of it, but it's fantastic. If you need to get into tight spaces, or if you build cabinets or drawers or anything like that, this is one of those tools that will be invaluable to you. You use it all the time. Or if you go on to job sites, you have to get up into tight spaces and things. This is awesome. It's got a 90-degree head on it that will, I think, take 16 different positions. It also has an offset head, so if you need to get kind of up into a corner, up against something, that works well. It has a standard drill and then also a 1/4 inch. It's not an impact, but it will accept those bits. It's just a regular drill. The only complaint most everybody has is the forward and reverse switches on top as a push button and not that slide through like others are. 2-speed. Has a chuck on it or a torque adjustment on it. This is a very good option. It's a very good option if you need it for those applications. I'm glad I've got it in my shop, but not everybody will use it if you don't build cabinets and drawers and things like that. That's why I put it as an honorable mention. I do have other Milwaukee tools here that I purchased. Again, I purchased all this stuff, but there's a few that I just don't use enough to have an opinion on. A grinder, I bought it because sometimes you need a grinder, and so I wanted one to have in the shop. Already had Milwaukee Tools, found it on a good deal. This is a little ratchet. Sometimes your wife orders something from IKEA and you have to put it together, and you don't really want to with a regular ratchet, so I bought a M12 one. An impact, in case I need to change a tire, why not? And then a bandsaw, because if you've ever taken a hacksaw and tried to cut through a hardened steel bolt, you'll know why I bought this, and that's why I bought it. One of the issues that are brought up the most about any type of other tool when you start showing them is I don't want another battery platform, and I get it, I do. I went a long time with just having rigid tools, but man, you kind of pigeonhole yourself into such a box when there's so many great options out there. If you have the budget for them, I think it's just having an extra charger in the shop or two, it's not that big of a deal, and you have more options in tools. That's why I like to have a few different brands actually. Are you even a woodworker? If you could pick up a drill or anything with a trigger on it and not do this. You gotta check out those 5 Ryobi tools that even haters love. Seriously, those are some awesome tools from Ryobi. You gotta check out. Click that box, get you the big old virtual fist bump. Thanks for watching.